The science of today is the technology of tomorrow. Let's embrace science. A pleasant morning to one and all. Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, Mr. P.S. Satish Kumar. Honorable Chairman, Mr. V.N.P. Raj. Secretary, Mrs. Shashikala Raj. The Director of Chempaka Group of Schools, Mrs. Shrija N. Academic Dean, Mr. James Thomas. Principal, Mr. Swaminathan Krishna. Vice Principals of Senior and Junior Schools. Academic Head, Cambridge Program. Senior and Middle School Coordinators. Dear parents, teachers, other staff members, and my dear schoolmates. On behalf of Lekor Chempaka, I am greatly delighted to offer a gracious welcome to all of you to the valedictory ceremony of Spectrum 2021. A prayer should always be our first response to every situation. Dear God, into your wisdom we place our path, direction, and goals. Into your love we place our lives. Let's mark the beginning by invoking the blessings of God Almighty.
A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist waits for it to change, and a realist adjusts the sails. The sails for this particular notion were adjusted by a person who is not only a great motivator, but also a visionary who gave us belief to bring together this event. It's none other than our beloved principal, Dr. Swaminathan Krishna. To give a red carpet welcome to everyone assembled here, may I take the pleasure of requesting our respected principal to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning. What a beautiful day. After an enriching science exhibition day yesterday, we did online. I had the great honor to visit almost all rooms and be part of almost all exhibits. I was truly amazed children. I'm so glad the lethargy and procrastination that believed to be gifted by this lockdown hasn't affected our children. I'm so glad. I was very glad to see, like many of the teachers and management members, the enthusiasm, zeal, vigor, and most importantly, the presentation skill you have showed yesterday. Honorable Chief Guest for the day, Satish Sir, our Chairman, Secretary, Director, Dean, Vice Principal, Junior, Vice Principal, Senior Coordinators, and the Headmistress of Lekol Chempaka International Campus, the Head of Cambridge, and most importantly, the spectrum coordinator, Ms. Raji, and the organizing committee coordinator, Ms. Sherin. Dear lovely science teachers and all teachers, admin members, parents, lovely children, warm greetings on this gracious occasion of this valedictory function, wherein we will appreciate, salute, and congratulate the winners. Of course, we know that any child who presented the program right from the day one, they have been working almost 2 to 3 months now. And what happened yesterday was just a final. For presentation, for quality appraisal, we do the final, but we have been valuing, respecting every exhibit, every effort done by every children right from the day one till today. Like Edison, the inventor of bulb, said, 10,000 times he failed before making the final inventory. That does not mean that, he literally failed. That was stepping stone. So children, today we have an amazing moment here. We have our chief guest. He is an eminent person in the field of science, award winner, a gold medalist, and before I invite him, I would like to give one small tip today. Like when we celebrate the sports day, annual day, and science exhibition days like this, that shouldn't be the first and the last day for you to experiment anything on the projects. This is one among the 365 days. That's how we do. Of course, we will not be able to invite a chief guest and parents and everybody when we do all the things. One special occasion we keep away for all of them to celebrate it. Otherwise, this should be an ongoing program throughout the life, throughout the school life especially. We have Mr. Sadish, MTech in Chemical Engineering, and he's currently working in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center as Deputy General Manager. He was also working in ISRO Sriharikota. He is the gold medalist in IISc, and he is also award winner ISRO Young Scientist Award in 2013 and ISRO Team Excellence Award 2019. He did a lot of paper presentation in the field of science, and he is also a member of a variety of professional bodies. He is the right person to salute you on this most auspicious day. Dear sir, thanks for joining us. Over to you to share your valuable thought with our children. Thank you.
Dr. Swaminathan sir, Principal of Lekol Chempaka, faculty members and board members of Lekol Chempaka, my dear students of Lekol Chempaka, a very good morning to all of you. It's a great pleasure to be a part of this Spectrum event where all the children exhibit their scientific talents. I'm really happy that I'm also part of this. I could able to see the variety of experiments which the students were doing, and both the live models as well the still models. It really shows how students are being nurtured right from their childhood so that they can become a true scientist in the coming days. I understand from the school that the scientific exhibitions are being involved from grade 3, I suppose, and every child gets a flavor of the scientific experiment. That's really wonderful experience for all children to cherish. And I know for the last 1 month, students are all working for your experimentals, both still as well as the live model. Maybe doing in home, and then you had your prelims, and then yesterday you had finals. The participation in science itself, on experiment itself, is a great achievement, I would say, because as your principal sir has pointed out that we may be ending up in a lot of small failures. But the moment we got the result out of it, the happiness what we see in our face, that has no measurement. That is what science is. Science is basically an observation of physical and natural thing around us, which can be proved by experiments and which means as a student we need to observe everything around us. Science is the only subject where you need not memorize anything. You have to see, observe, and see what is behind it. You may be reading or you may be knowing what and how. You may have to continuously put a question called why. Why is it like this? Why is it happening? A lot of questions, the moment you place on a particular subject, you will end up in beautiful, interesting phenomena coming out of it from each systems. To specify a small things what you see on everyday day-to-day life, one may see that why do we start using pressure cooker? What is the law behind it? People who are in the slightly higher grades, they may be able to tell Charles' law. At constant volume, the temperature increases as the pressure increases. The food cooks fast. Similar way, why washing machine is running so fast towards its end during its drying process. Centrifugal force plays a role in that to remove the water molecules out, throws the water molecules out. Similar way, when you sit in a car or when you sit in a train and you travel at a particular speed and you see an opposite train approaching yourself, but you feel suddenly you are accelerated so fast. Why is it? But when I see on the other side, it doesn't so. So the relative velocity plays a role. The moment you put questions why everywhere, you will learn a concept what you would have learned theoretically in your class subjects. I know your textbooks have been very nicely arranged in such a way that each concept being taught, subsequently you will be having a chapter called a small experiment. That experiment, the moment you do, you will never forget the concept what you have learned. The foundations have to be excellently made such that you can start building up your knowledge of science over and above it. I was seeing few experiments in the initial video what has been published for the spectrum. Beautiful videos, the still models as well as working models. A few of that, probably one is eclipse. Today is lunar eclipse. Though we say that all this concept being told, you put a small model and show this is how it works. Right from the child, probably a child from 3rd standard also will try to understand that, oh, this is what lunar eclipse, this is what solar eclipse. That's a great beauty of science. You show everything by experiment. Reading science gives a lot of happiness, especially to me. Basically, I'm a chemical engineer. The engineering comes subsequently to the science. Basically, engineering is an applied science. The science basically is your natural science where you have physics, chemistry and biology. And even now political branch of sciences is also being taken care, where humanities, economics also has a role to play under the part of science. And the next important science is maths. Maths is also now being considered as a science. But let us talk about on this physics, chemistry and biology. As I was telling, each and every concept what you learn, if you can able to do a very small experiment, you will be happy about it. And you should not stop at that point. You should start asking a lot of questions to your teachers, because they are the one who are going to enlighten you. I know you are all gifted students to be a part of Lekol Chempaka, where the system of education is entirely different. I really appreciate and I'm proud that the system is there where the children are being imbibed this science culture right from the beginning. True, when you all grow up, you will be ending up in as a scientist. You may be ending up in a different professions, but then the base knowledge what you acquire will always help you to teach others, as well as you also may able to derive great benefits out of it. Especially when I was studying in IISc. The IISc starts teaching about the fundamentals. They go below fundamentals so that building up of knowledge can be done by anybody. The research is like you have to do a lot of talkings to your friends. It's not that an individual. Basically, sometimes no, the research doesn't completely complete. I mean, doesn't complete in itself without being discussion, because you derive a lot of small informations from your friends, team members, and we follow even in ISRO the same culture. Have a discussion so that no, you may be sometimes wrong, you may have to receive some information from your team members. So a good scientist first has to have a curiosity towards the science, to the problem what is defined, at the same time should able to accept good ideas from others, should have an open mind. You should be honest enough to accept sometimes there is a failure, yes, I will redo it. Ask good questions to all of your teachers, to your friends, to enlighten you. And there are many of the new findings which have come has come sometimes by accidents. One such example is polystyrene. I hope many of you may be knowing about it. The styrene was a molecule which was initially derived and was kept in a lab, and after 4 or 5 days when he came back, he found that the liquid has become completely solid. How does it happen? They have not simply thrown out. Okay, some observations from the observation is liquid has become a solid, styrene has become something. What is it? They started working on it, and today we have a beautiful compound called polystyrene, which is being used as a packing material everywhere. Similar, another one simple example which my professor used to tell me, which has not gone in records in scientific literature. The catalyst, what we all know, which is used to enhance the reactions, was found out by a housewife in home, which was not really recorded, but later on scientists started working on it, and then they really proved the efficacy out of it. Something has happened. Have the zeal to observe it and then work on it, so that the end result will be so happy for you. And science is not stagnant, it is evolving every day. As the introductory statement says, we are into the next domain of science. Now, science earlier law of conservation of mass is being accepted, that the mass cannot be created nor destroyed. But today we have a new system of nuclear fission and fusion reaction says that the mass can be converted into an energy. So the laws is continuously getting changed. Rutherford model of an atom was initially being accepted, later on entirely it got changed. And he himself did a lot of experiments to prove that his theory is wrong. And that way he found out that this is not the way we are going to establish the model of an atom. So everybody has to understand that the science is not stagnant, it's continuously changing. And so we need to update it on a day-to-day basis. So read a lot of good technical papers. You will be obviously getting into that role once you get into your college education. But now start reading new chapters on the science subjects which you are interested in. Somebody will be interested in physics, somebody will be interested in chemistry, somebody will be interested in biology. Everywhere can be proved by experiment. People were saying that, okay, biology is one area, the experimental is quite costly, or otherwise, the application of mathematics is not so into that. It's not so. Today in IISc, chemical engineering department is getting converted almost into a biochemical side. People work on flow of blood in veins. They work on the transport phenomena of the viruses, hepatitis B viruses, and modeling it and then solving the problem. So it's not that one particular branch is having a linear effect. It's not so. Every subject has its own beauty, and then you can really appreciate it when you do experiments and derive results out of it. And as I said, the interest, what I was saying about the interest is, I am basically a chemistry person. Probably I did not have that much inclination towards physics. The reason behind that is I did not understand the physics the way I'm supposed to understand. That is because probably my lackness towards questioning that time to my teachers. I suddenly got an interest when I was in IISc, just going through some lecture series, entirely went into physics mode subsequently. I like to say that, to you all people, one classical mechanics course by Professor Walter Lewis from MIT, in his class, every lecture, he will be demonstrating the experiment, what he is teaching. So you will never forget. That is the beauty of science. Right from the force to the simple pendulum. He was even risking his own life during the experiment of simple pendulum because he knows that science work. The ball will never reach him back because of the drag. And he finally says that science work. So that is a beauty. You will really feel enthusiastic and feel proud to be a, part of science. And similar type of lot of lecture series are available. You may not really understand everything, but the moment you start learning and then observing it, observation is most important in science. You start observing, you will really have interest towards science, and tomorrow you will be coming as a good scientist where you find a lot of opportunities in India itself. I would say, ISRO is one area where we do a lot of good research in variety of areas, right from chemicals, propellants to electronics, new launch vehicles. Similar way, Department of Atomic Energy, they work on a lot of new systems. DRDO and TFIR, who work on fundamental physics, and CASR, who where they work on chemical and biological sciences. A lot of opportunity exists. In spite of that, one can always become a good teacher. We have a lot of opportunities in IITs and IIC. Have the zeal to read science and then imbibe this culture and do more research out of it and give back to the society. What you have learned also supposed to be has to be given back to society. Be a good role model, be a good teacher, and you will able to excel in your life and with a satisfied mind. That's most important. I know you all guys are waiting for your results from the spectrum. Every one of you would have put up your sincere effort in getting the good result out of it. That itself is a big achievement. That would have given happiness when your results come out from your experiments. And I wish all of you that you should continue to do this. And I especially congratulate all the people who are going to be the winners, because yes, reward is also important because that gives extra your energy to start working on it, or more experiments or more scientific information onto that. I take this opportunity to thank the management for giving a small window to talk to all of you. And I'm really so happy because I'm talking to the next generation who are going to take the scientific into a new evolution. And thank you all for your nice time spent with me. And I wish you all the students a great and excellent success in their scientific career. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Those were great words of inspiration. Winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. We now move on to the most awaited event of this morning. Let's find out the winners of Spectrum 2021. May I now invite our dear Principal, Dr. Swaminathan Krishna, to declare the results.
Mrs. Pulri Vijayan, who has done a commendable job as the Spectrum Coordinator for Junior School, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest Mr. Sadish Kumar, Chairman Shri VNP Raj, Secretary Mrs. Shashikala Raj, Director Mrs. Sheeja N, Academic Dean Mr. Jins Thomas, Principal Dr. Sominathan Krishna, Vice Principals, Senior School and Junior School, Annie Ma'am and Ivy Ma'am, Academic Head Cambridge Mr. Sanu Joseph, coordinators, facilitators, our most valued parents and students. Good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I offer my sincere thanks to the Almighty for making the event a success. I extend a heartfelt gratitude to the entire management for giving me an opportunity to continue being a part of the Spectrum Committee and for all the support and guidance you have given. I am grateful to our beloved principal for being the catalyst, always inspiring us, and our vice principals who are our pillars of strength. My deep sense of appreciation for my fellow members whose dedication and untiring efforts set the stage for the successful conduct of Spectrum. I would like to thank all the class facilitators for their wholehearted support and cooperation. I also express my sincere thanks to the organizing committee for helping us conduct this event. I extend my gratitude to all the parents and children. We can never undermine the role you have played. Once again, on behalf of the Chempaka fraternity, I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you gathered out here to make this event a resounding one. Thank you.
Thank you, Pulri ma'am. We now come to the closure of this special occasion with the national anthem.